As we grow older, something begins to change in our hearts and minds. The same social circles that once felt exciting start to feel draining. The constant noise of parties, obligations, and keeping up with everyone no longer feels necessary. Instead, many seniors quietly notice themselves pulling back from people, not because they hate them, but because they've discovered something deeper about life. Today, we will explore 6 powerful psychological reasons why older adults naturally start avoiding people more, and why this is not only normal, but often a sign of wisdom, emotional maturity, and self-protection. 1. Your time becomes more valuable, and you refuse to waste it. When we are young, time feels endless. We say yes to every invitation, spend hours in meaningless conversations, and tolerate people who drain our energy. But with age comes perspective. You realize life is fragile, and your time is your most precious currency. Psychology research calls this socio-emotional selectivity theory. Seniors choose fewer, but more meaningful relationships because they want to focus on joy, peace, and authenticity. Instead of entertaining gossip, toxic friends, or shallow small talk, seniors become selective. They ask, does this person bring value to my soul, or do they take from it? Real-life reflection. An 80-year-old woman once shared, when I was 30, I needed a crowd. When I was 60, I needed friends. Now at 80, I only need peace, and 2 or 3 people who truly care. Avoiding unnecessary people isn't loneliness, it's choosing quality over quantity. 2. Emotional energy declines, and you protect your peace. As we age, our emotional battery works differently. Stress, arguments, and loud environments become overwhelming. What used to be fun drama in youth now feels exhausting. Seniors often prioritize peace because the body and mind handle stress less effectively with age. Avoiding people who constantly complain, argue, or bring negativity becomes an act of emotional self-defense. Psychological insight. Research shows cortisol, the stress hormone, has stronger effects on older bodies. That's why emotional battles or fake relationships drain seniors more deeply than younger adults. Reflection. Many older adults say, I don't hate anyone, I just don't have the energy for unnecessary conflict anymore. 3. You outgrow the need for approval or validation. In youth, we chase popularity, social circles, and external validation. But aging teaches us that most of those people were never truly invested in us. Older adults stop seeking approval because they've already lived, loved, worked, and struggled. They know their worth. Psychologists call this ego integrity, the stage of life when seniors stop performing for others and start living authentically. Story example, a retired teacher once said, I used to force myself to attend reunions, dinners, and weddings just to be polite. Now I ask myself, do I really want to go? If the answer is no, I don't feel guilty anymore. Avoiding people is not antisocial. It's freedom from the chains of people-pleasing. 4. Loss, betrayal, and disappointment shape selectivity. By old age, everyone has experienced betrayal, heartbreak, gossip, or broken friendships. These wounds leave scars, and with time, seniors learn to guard their hearts. Many avoid certain people because past experiences taught them those relationships are unsafe. The brain naturally remembers emotional pain more vividly than joy, a psychological phenomenon called the negativity bias. Reflection. After decades of living, seniors know exactly who uplifts them and who drains them. Instead of repeating old mistakes, they choose to keep their circle small and safe. Case example, a 75-year-old man said, I stopped calling some relatives. Not because I hate them, but because every conversation felt like criticism. I finally realized, at my age, I don't need that weight anymore. 5. Shifting priorities from social ambition to inner peace. In earlier life, people often build networks for career, social status, or family obligations. But in old age, these external goals fade. Seniors turn inward, seeking peace, meaning, and spiritual growth. Psychology calls this geratranscendence, a shift from material and social ambition toward reflection, wisdom, and inner peace. Older adults often avoid people not because of dislike, but because they're more interested in spirituality, hobbies, rest, or family bonds. Reflection. A grandmother once explained, I used to spend my weekends pleasing everyone else. Now, I spend them in my garden, because flowers don't gossip and plants don't judge. This avoidance is not selfish, it's self-realization. 6. Awareness of mortality changes what matters. With age comes the deep awareness that life has an end. Seniors realize they may only have a few decades, years, or even months left. This awareness reshapes everything. Instead of filling their days with noise, they want peace, love, and meaningful connections. Avoiding people becomes a way of spending the remaining time wisely. Psychological note: this isn't fear of death, it's wisdom. Knowing life is limited makes seniors treasure authentic bonds and reject superficial ones. Reflection: one elderly man put it beautifully, "When I was young, I wanted to impress everyone. Now that I'm old, I just want to sit with the few who will cry when I'm gone." 7. Smaller social circles bring deeper intimacy. As we age, we no longer crave a wide network of acquaintances. Instead, we naturally gravitate toward a small, trusted circle where conversations feel deeper and safer. Psychologists explain that this is an evolutionary and emotional adaptation. Seniors prefer fewer relationships, but with stronger emotional bonds. Instead of chasing dozens of friends, they invest in a few who genuinely care. This shift often looks like avoiding people, but in reality, it's a refocusing of emotional energy. Real-life reflection: an older woman once said, "When I was young, I knew hundreds of people. Now, I only keep in touch with 5. But those 5 know me better than anyone ever has, and that is enough." By stepping away from shallow social obligations, seniors create space for true intimacy, whether it's with a lifelong partner, a few loyal friends, or even children and grandchildren. This isn't isolation, it's a natural, healthy move toward quality over quantity. 8. The desire for solitude and self-reflection grows stronger. Another powerful reason seniors avoid people is that solitude itself becomes healing and meaningful. With fewer distractions, older adults often find peace in quiet routines, reading, gardening, praying, journaling, or simply sitting in silence. Solitude allows them to process memories, reflect on their life journey, and find spiritual clarity. Psychologists say solitude in older age often leads to higher levels of wisdom and life satisfaction, as long as it's chosen and not forced. Reflection: a retired man explained, "When I was younger, silence felt lonely. Now, silence feels like peace. I don't avoid people because I dislike them. I avoid people because I finally enjoy being with myself." This self-reflection is a hallmark of emotional maturity. It's not about cutting people off, but about recognizing that peace, stillness, and solitude can be just as fulfilling as company. Now you have 8 full psychological reasons. Time becomes more valuable. Emotional energy declines, so you protect your peace. Outgrowing the need for approval, loss, betrayal, and disappointment shape selectivity. Shifting priorities from ambition to inner peace. Awareness of mortality changes what matters. Smaller social circles bring deeper intimacy. Desire for solitude and self-reflection grows stronger. Closing thoughts. So, if you find yourself avoiding people more as you age, remember, it doesn't mean you're broken. It doesn't mean you're antisocial. It means you're wise enough to protect your peace. The truth is, growing older teaches us what really matters. Peace matters. Health matters. A handful of loyal people matter. The rest is just noise. So don't feel guilty for stepping back. In fact, avoiding people you don't need is often a sign of maturity, freedom, and emotional strength.